Hey guys, it is 101R Smith, and today we're here with the review of the high-grade RX-78 Gundam Beyond Global. Now, what is this kit? This kit is a redesigned RX-78 made by Kunio Okawara to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Gunpla. And before we go any further, I'm gonna make a little bit of a rant here. I get it. It is an anniversary year. It's the anniversary of Gunpla, and last year was the anniversary of Gundam, but I'm really starting to get burnt out with RX-78. I mean, come on, this has been like 5 or 6 different releases of RX-78 this year alone. December, we had the G40. March, we had the Origin High Grade. June was Beyond Global. September is both the entry grade RX-78 and the RX-78 00 model kits for the statue. And don't forget, we have an incoming perfect grade coming in the near future. I get it's an anniversary year, but Bandai is milking the shit out of Grandpa. It is ridiculous, and people complain about Unicorn and Stray and Wing Zero. So many options. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen a 4.0 of a master grade or a 2.0 of the real grade. So that's my little rant. I think after this year, I don't want to see Grandpa for a while. But this is Okawara's new take on the Gundam, and it's basically if you couldn't get the G40 or you don't like the G40 but you want all of that amazing articulation that was included with the G40, this is your option. I know there was a lot of flack of the color scheme of this kit. A lot of people wasn't vibing with it. Some people felt that it was completely out of ordinary, but I think this is a really underrated gem that a lot of people are gonna pass because of RX-78 burnout, or just they want something special like the G40, or they want something more flashy. But if you can get past the color scheme, and even for the more advanced builders, if you can paint it back to the colors, I really think you would appreciate this kit. But we're gonna take a look at it as is, so why don't we open up the box and see what we have here. All put together, and here is the RX-78 Beyond Global. As I've stated, there's a lot of mixed reviews with the color scheme. Some people feel like the colors are too muted. Honestly, when I saw it, it reminded me more of the Verka or the 1 Year War version of the RX-78. It has like that subtle shade of pinkish red, a very sky blue, but not quite sky blue, and an off-white. And I honestly automatically thought of the 1 Year War version. Something that I love about this kit is finally, fucking finally, we have a high-grade RX-78 with the logo on the crotch, not molded in, not a sticker, it's its own separate piece. Hallelujah. That was the kit seller for me on a personal level. Unfortunately, my build kind of screwed up because my head fell off the ground because of my cat, and I lost half of the V-fin, and that was devastating and almost made me not even want to continue with the build. But in spite of my tears, I will continue on because I am a professional, damn it. So basically, just a more slimmed down, kind of stylized, modern take of the RX-78. If you don't like the overtly blocky proportions of the old school Grandpa, you want something that's kind of like 90s, early 2000s, or at least something more akin to the Alex, this is your high grade option for you. It looks great. It might look like the blue pack of Skittles, but it can pose well, and even with the blue pack Skittle vibe it gives off, it's a good looking kit. But while it looks good, let's take a look at that articulation to see if it matches. Starting off the head is on a double jointed ball joint and can go 360, but weirdly enough, my kit can only go if I go counterclockwise. That just might be me. With the arms, you're gonna get a very high multiple joint on the arm and can go 360. One aspect that I really like is it takes a note from the real grade. The shoulder is its own kind of hinge that you just slide in to slot in between the joint and the arm, which I find is very impressive, and I was actually kind of happy they took that, even though the shoulder has the propensity to fly off once in a while. Obviously your average swivel point on the bicep, but it also takes this part from the G40 where the wrist can also move out to be its own joint. You're gonna get decent amount of articulation on the waist, but you won't get a full 360. Front and side skirts can pop out on their own. The instruction manual actually implores you to cut out the front skirts on its own piece. And you're gonna get a almost triple jointed waist situation where you're gonna get a joint on the waist, a joint that can kind of move out the leg, and you're gonna get a hinge joint to make the legs go forward. A nice double jointed knee, and you're gonna get double jointed ankles included as well. This is one of the best kits that I've ever seen with high grade. It takes high grade and adds just enough aspects of real grade to really help it stand out while still being within the realms of the high grade. The articulation here is just revolutionary. Next up, we're gonna look at the accessories. And since this is RX-78, this comes a little bit bare bones. First off, you're gonna get your standard RX-78 beam rifle. It's really just two pieces slapped together with a hinge on itself. Nicely enough, the yellow bit on the scope is its own piece molded together, and it comes with this slot where you can hose it into the back of the back skirt. Otherwise, that's really just it. It's just your basic RX-78 rifle. Again, with the shield, it has the muted colors, but it has a nice little function of being able to slot in on that hinge joint on the forearms, and of course you're gonna get beam sabers. Admittedly, this is a very bare bones layout. No beam bazookas, no Gundam hammer. It's just the basic RX-78 layout. And while that might be disappointing to some, I'm okay because this kit is truly about its articulation. You want to have the Gundam kind of on its knees, ready to pull out the beam saber, whether it's just single or double, you can do it. You want to have a very dynamic pose of RX-78 kind of pulling out the beam saber in a forward dash, you can do it. That is one of the most impressive pieces about this kit. Yes, it lacks on accessories, but a combination of its articulation and with the accessories given to you, you can make any sort of RX-78 pose that you can. My one regret is not doing the pose with the final shot, but I was just really focused on this beam pose. Once you get an action base, all bets are off. You can get any sort of pose. I love this firing range because what it does is with the shield, you can kind of pull out a mechanism to where it could just slot into the back of the backpack without any problem. And once you get the legs together, oh my god, it is amazing to what this kit can do. Anything. I just looked up RX-78 poses on my Google, and I was able to just pull out any pose, whether it was from a high grade, a master grade, or a real grade. This is the selling point of RX-78. It has amazing articulation that I really hope that we get to see more of in the high grade line in the near future, as well as great color separation that is finally up to par with mid to late 2000s master grades. And it even almost comes with a full inner frame. You're just missing a few pieces on the bottom ankles and in the torso. This is how far we've come in this hobby, and I've only been in a part of this hobby for 6 years. It is astounding and phenomenal how far we've come with technology. Bandai is really flexing their muscles here. My final thoughts on this kit. Minus my blunder of the V-fin aside, this is a total package kit. It's simple. Cleanup is amazing. Very little to no num marks whatsoever. A cheap price of under $20. Yes, you're not going to get the full arsenal of the RX-78, but what you're giving, you can do amazing things, especially after getting an action base. You can do amazing things on the ground as well. Great articulation, a great look. When it comes to the colors, there might not be everyone's cup of tea. Me, like I said, it reminds me more of the 1 Year War version. This is kind of like the 1 Year War Verka of the high grade kits. You get this option when you want something a little different, when you don't want the same blocky grandpa that we've been given time and time again. And overall, this is a perfect kit. I have very little complaints. My only complaint is the right arm seems to pop off a little bit too much to my liking. And the side steers kind of pop off once in a while. That's it. Otherwise, the only complaint I have is a V-fin, but that's a me problem, and I really have a thing of, I want to come back to this kit a little later on and do my own paint scheme, put it back in the original RX-78 colors, but even on its own, if you want something cheap but revolutionary, I would get this kit. This kit takes all of the best aspects of the 1 Year War version and the G40 in terms of articulation and molds it together in one, maybe not complete package, but one kind of nifty little package, and you can set it up, build it in less than 90 minutes, and have an amazing grandpa to your high-grade collection. Highly recommend it for all the builders, whether you're a newbie, a novice, intermediate, advanced. Get this kit. Even if it's just like a relaxing build for you, just go get it. This is 101 R Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.